I'm Jim Witt, and that's the way things were in 1969. We had laugh-in and love-ins, Woodstock and Vietnam. We put Richard Nixon in the White House and a man on the moon. The further back you look, the further ahead in the future you can see, said Winston Churchill. Taking Churchill at his word, I asked members of the Kansas Livestock Association to do a little time traveling at their 1999 annual convention. In a general session, KLA members were broken into small discussion groups. I then asked the audience these 4 questions. What changes have occurred in the beef industry over the last 30 years? What changes do you see occurring in the next 30 years? What will you have to do to be part of that industry? And what does KLA need to do to help you get there? The groups were given 15 minutes to discuss each question and recorded their answers on a flip chart. Then I selected groups at random to share their answers with the rest of the audience. Imagine a big talk show with hundreds of people. While TV cameras focused on the members sharing their answers, the rest of the audience saw it all on a large screen in the front of the convention hall. As you can imagine, KLA members had a lot of fun with the format. It made for some lighter moments like these.
We're trying to figure out how we're going to buy all these products, internet, get them shipped in wireless, and then they reestablish right here in our hand if they come in wireless. Is that going to be possible in 30 years?
I think Ron is back to 1969, and I think he inhaled.
You know, they can't find a sucker in Arkansas no more. And the other thing
That's
is...
because they're all in Washington.
Like Freddy Krueger, we're back.
Somebody suggested putting stuff in outer space like prisons, hotels.
Like what? Step up to the microphone there, Jim.
Prisons.
Prisons?
You know,
In outer space?
Once you get them there, hey.
Population will be what?
Much more diverse.
In what way?
Most all of you Anglos will not be the majority then. By then.
All joking aside, KLA members took a serious look at the changes in the beef industry over the last 30 years.
Beef was king.
Competing meats.
Change in livestock feeding programs.
the captive supply, packer concentration.
European breeds were the Cadillacs.
Government intervention.
There's been some environmental changes.
Pre-packaging of the product, the boxed beef.
Food safety, increased news media, change in livestock feeding programs, vegetarians, granola eaters, water rights,
beef checkoff,
satellite buying and selling,
increasing global markets,
NAFTA and WTO,
The invention of the big round baler.
health and nutritional myths.
We think the end of central market selling was a big factor, with the corresponding the packers moving to the country. Associated with that was that we had a few large packers in the late 60s. Packing was real concentrated. We went to a lot of smaller packers out in the country. Now we've had more consolidation back.
KLA members' predictions for the future reveal they are visionaries who are not afraid to push the envelope. Some of their predictions were provocative, to say the least. When describing the future, they weren't bashful.
I never do anything without consulting my crystal. Then we'll gaze into the crystal. What's this I see?
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
We're going to be totally consumer-driven.
Value-based marketing would probably move beyond the carcass into the box and eventually into the value at the meat case.
We thought production of ag products could be moving to South America, China, wherever, because of the changing demographics.
Purebreds, as we know it, we don't think it'll be hybrids.
What do you mean? Are you going to tell us
There'll be
that all
some
of the
purebreds, but it's going to be a lot less genetic variance.
Which breeds are you going to eliminate over here, Bill?
We didn't want to get into that argument.
GMO will turn into biotech products, which it should be already, and specialty grains will be integrated into beef production, maybe even up to the point where specialty grains replace beef as a protein.
Probably everything that we do will be based off of the impact on the environment. Home delivery of totally prepared meals.
You aren't saying that the cow-calf people and the stalker people and the feed yard people and the packer and the retailer are all going to be on the same page? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
They're all going to be partners.
We're going to have a total global economy.
Like WTO?
Or worse, maybe.
Food safety will have been dealt with and be a non-issue.
Virtual disappearance of the live market.
We'll have all branded products.
The carcass will be broken differently. Today's cuts won't be the same.
In the medical field, your animals could have a lot greater impact. You could be using animals for entirely different things.
More integration.
We're going to have more demand for beef.
Water will be traded as a commodity.
Tracking the animal from birth to meat case.
It's just amazing to me how we're all coming together here.
Members are going to have to commit maybe more to the organization than they have in the past.
And then we need to be leaders, not followers. I guess the comment was made that only the lead dog has a different view.
Be willing to sell your labor as part of an alliance.
Voluntary quality control, well, that means maybe keeping the government out of it.
Sell ourselves. We can discuss an issue and get different folks' viewpoints on things, then we can come to a better solution that may not be the thing that pleases everyone, but we've elevated the whole thing above where we started from.
Niche markets, which maybe are consumer-driven.
Continue to support the beef checkoff and checkoff programs.
When we talk about forming alliances here and there, we're going to have to do that in various ways, but there are a lot of us that are pretty reluctant to do so if we look right inside our heart.
Relinquish some of that control to get a common goal in the future.
Develop an attitude of interdependence.
There are 3 stages of maturity. You move from dependence to independence, and then, Dan, you move to interdependence. If we're going to be successful in the future, then what we have to realize is to accomplish anything of greatness, we have to multiply ourselves through other people. And what that means is we have to be willing to share the control, share the authority, and also share the responsibility for the future as well. Is it possible that the Kansas Livestock Association in the future may not be the Kansas Livestock Association? Janice?
More of a total food organization, not specific to livestock.
The KLA could be instrumental in facilitating information transfer between segments of production in our industry.
The KLA will investigate and communicate about partnerships for its members, so a member will be able to tell if it's going to be good for him before he gets into it.
Presently, KLA goes up to the feeder chain and then stops. We see KLA being a catalyst for increased communication and cooperation with the rest of the industry, i.e. the packers and the retailers.
You want packers in the Kansas Livestock Association?
Yeah, in some way.
We want to continue to have good staff.
I'll pay my $100.
Okay.
KLA, NCBA, Kansas Cattlewomen, ANCW, there'll probably be new groups that form, but we hope that we build on the strength of these.
We think KLA will be more specialized as we see vertical integration in every group of ag, that we might just be a beef organization.
Anything within your state boundaries that is raised here could be used in one organization to market all of them better.
Is there a possibility in the future that the Kansas Livestock Association may extend past the boundaries of our state? Is that possible?
I believe that there could be regional needs and even national. We're talking a global market now, so why not extend beyond your state?
KLA will be more proactive on environmental issues.
More advertisement, encouraging people to eat at home and kind of glamorize cooking at home, that it's cool to be in the kitchen.
Okay.
June Cleaver's life wasn't so bad.
Build relationships with kingmakers, not just legislators, but businessmen and fellow members that may have innovative ideas.
There may also be new organizations in our local communities with more influence than that direct on towards our national organizations.
All these increased services that we're going to want from our association are going to require a greater level of funding, and we thought perhaps that could be done through a combination of dues, revenue generating projects, and perhaps services for compensation.
More member services, like some of the other groups commented, maybe some on-site consulting to help producers with different problems.
They still need to be our voice in the state and national levels.
We're probably going to pay Allie Devine, pay for legal services.
And consumer education.
To allocate more money for beef products to be introduced into schools.
Continue to have an active place in the political arena with their PAC programs.
Communication with the producers.
Group purchasers for their members.
We need to make new people feel more welcomed.
Increase education in the medical field.
Build coalitions with opposing views. KLA shouldn't be afraid to sit down or continue to sit down at the table with people like the Sierra Club.
Become more of a catalyst for innovation.
They might be involved in banking.
Educate and fire up our current members. For instance, when they tell us that it's important to call the legislature, that we should do it.
To sum it all up, KLA members know change is not an option and realize someone has to make it happen. What do members expect from the association? 3 things seem to be recurring themes. They expect the association of the future to be a catalyst for change, an innovator for the industry, and a facilitator between each segment of the industry and the consumer. Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player to ever lace up a pair of skates, was once asked about the secret of his success. "You don't skate to where the puck has been," he said. "You skate to where the puck will be." KLA members know where the beef industry puck has been, and they are in agreement about where the puck will be in 2029 and what they have to do to get there. They also know 30 years passes fast, and it's time to start skating.